Hi, Discovery Center friends, and welcome to another episode of Discover at Home. My name is Annie McDonald, and I'm one of the naturalists and the volunteer program coordinator at North Lakeland Discovery Center up in beautiful Manitowish Waters, Wisconsin. And as you might be able to tell, I'm actually not on campus today. I'm videoing this or taping this from my home down in Minocqua. And unfortunately, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the facilities in terms of the Nature Center and the offices at the Discovery Center are closed to the public. However, we still have 12 miles of trails, so we strongly recommend everybody get out and go for a walk or enjoy the beautiful things that the Northwoods has to offer during this great time of year. And remember, we are a nonprofit, so we're an environmental education center nonprofit, and if you like what we do, please go over to our website, www.discoverycenter.net, and there you can find more information about how to donate or how to become a member, as well as information regarding our grounds, our trail system, our programming, pretty much any question that you've got, we've got answers for you at the website, or feel free to email us at contact@discoverycenter.net. That being said, spring officially sprang almost 2 weeks ago now, and as you can see, we still have quite a bit of snow on the ground, a few inches left. Nothing in comparison to the 30 plus inches that we had over a month ago, and ice is still out on that little wetland behind me over my shoulder, but it's going pretty fast. So we now have daytime or daylight hours of over 12 and a half hours of the day is now daylight, which feels pretty good. It's getting sunny, and our average daytime highs have been over 32 degrees. So these are all great signs of spring, and there's a lot to look forward to when it comes to the season change and spring being sprung, and that's what we're going to talk about today. All right, so I'm going to start by posing a question to you guys. What does the barred owl, I'll zoom in nice and close here on the barred owl, the Canada goose, you might be able to hear some Canada geese off in the background, the hooded merganser, the black bear, represented here by the skull and pelt, the ermine, are also known as the short-tailed weasel, and the beaver. What do all of those animals have in common? So, of course, they're all native wildlife to our region here in northern Wisconsin. But what we're thinking about now and during this time of year is that all of these guys are on our spring phenology lists. And phenology is the study of the timing of natural events. And that leads us to make lists or to track those events, track those occurrences. And the Discovery Center tracks them, and we actually keep lists of different phenological events, natural events. So everything from the first robin, which was just a little bit over a week ago, to ice out, as well as to the first mosquito. If you want to get access, if you'd like to look at those lists, they go all the way back to 2003, and they can be found at our website, www.discoverycenter.net. Why do we care about phenology? Why is it important to track phenology? But I think it's important because it gives us an understanding and appreciation for the way that the natural systems work, but it also adds to our knowledge and our understanding of how our environments have changed over time. So we can look back at some phenologic data, particularly from people like Aldo Leopold, one of the forefathers of ecology, and he has phenologic observations that date all the way back to the 1930s. And so we can start to compare what we're seeing now in comparison to what we were seeing close to 100 years ago, and gain some really key information regarding climate change from that. But we're going to talk just briefly about some of the cool things that are happening right now in the spring up here in the Northwoods. So our barred owl, as well as the great horned owl, two common owls here in the Northwoods, spring is an important time for them. This is their breeding and nesting period. So in the evening times, or maybe even early morning, you might be able to hear the barred owl or the great horned owl calling to each other, hooting away. And this is, they're communicating with each other in their pairs. So this is the breeding and nesting season for our barred and our great horned owl. The Canada geese are back. They arrived just a little over a week ago here on our wetland just behind the house here. And like I said, you can probably hear them out there hooting. We've got 2 pairs out on the marsh. You can find them all over the Northwoods. Wherever there's open water, our Canada geese are arriving and developing or staking out their territories. Other water birds such as our hooded merganser as well as our common merganser. This is the hooded merganser here. They are starting to return. So again, you can find them on open water. Some other birds to note, of course, other water birds returning are the mallards. Ringneck ducks have been spotted just a couple of days ago. I saw tundra swans flying overhead. And of course, our trumpeter swans that stayed the winter on open water. You can often find them out there, but they're going to be, once the lakes open up, you'll be able to find them out on their breeding and nesting territories. As far as our mammals go, our black bear, they're emerging from hibernation. We've got a number of reports of people finding tracks, as well as at North Lakeland Elementary School. They had a black bear visit their school just a couple of days ago, caught on security camera. So black bears are emerging. Generally, the males emerge first, and females with cubs emerge a couple of weeks later. The ermine, or the short-tailed weasel, as well as our snowshoe hare, have an interesting physical adaptation, in which in the wintertime they turn white, obviously to have better camouflage, and in the summertime they turn back to a nice brown to camouflage with their surroundings, and that's caused by the length of photoperiod. So as the days get longer, their coat gradually turns darker, and as the days get shorter, their coat gradually turns whiter, so that they're pretty much completely white in the winter, and they become a nice dark brown in the summertime. So we're starting to see them changing colors during this time of year. And then the beaver, which we see all over the Wisconsin water and wetland areas, these guys are getting more active. So while they do not hibernate and they don't even go into torpor like our black bear do, they stay active all winter long, but they're getting a lot more active right now. So I've been seeing beavers coming up onto the shoreline and chewing down some fresh trees surrounding our property here on the wetland. And so they're a little bit sick of being home. They've got that cabin fever the same way that we all do right now. But they're actually getting out of their lodges right now and venturing further and further onto land to replenish their cache sites that they had eaten up throughout the winter. So we're going to see a lot more beaver activity, bear activity. Of course, our water birds are returning, such as our mergansers. Once the lakes open, we'll get to see even more water birds, particularly our loons will come back once the lakes open, our geese, and our owls. And of course, we've got a lot of things to look forward to. Already the sandhill cranes are starting to return. It's in the early phase of that. Our songbirds are coming back. So please make some observations, make your own list, and keep track, and share those with us at the Discovery Center by leaving comments below, or like I said, feel free to contact us at contact@discoverycenter.net. And we hope that you are all staying well and safe and enjoying the beautiful outdoors. Take care.